Okay, welcome back to Investigation 3.2 or Problem 3.2, Making Popcorn, More Unit Rates and Tables. Let's jump right into the initial challenge. We have Central Middle School decides to sell popcorn to raise money, and they're surprised at how small the quantity of dry kernels can make a very large volume of popcorn. So the ratio is one set of kernels will make 4 cups of popcorn. And then 1 serving of popcorn is a bag that holds 2 cups. Okay, so let's fill out the rate chart here for cups of popcorn from ounces of kernels. Okay, so we know the ratio is for 1 ounce of popcorn kernels, we get 4 cups, so 2 would be 8, 3 is 12, 4 is 16, 5 is 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, 44, 48. And then there's 1 box left, and that's going to be for 30, because that question is going to come up, and so 30 times 4 is 120. All right, let's move on to the next part. Okay, so I've transferred over the table to help us out. So how many cups of popcorn can you make from 12 ounces of kernels and 30 ounces? So we're going to go to use the bottom row, 12. We can make 48 cups of popcorn, and for 30 we can make 120 cups of popcorn. So 48 and 120. Okay, so now the next question is the opposite. It says how many ounces of kernels would you need if you were going to make 40 cups and 100? So if we come along here, we have 40. That would be 10. So 10 ounces of kernels. Now when it comes to 100, we don't have that on our table. So I'm going to look for a number that's a factor of 100 to help me out. 10 would be great, because then I could just, times 10 that, but we don't have that either. So I'm going to use 20. So 20 cups is 5 ounces. So 20 times 5 would be 100. So 5 times 5 would make that 25 ounces. Okay, so for the next question or two, we need the other piece of information where 1 serving of popcorn is a bag that holds 2 cups. So if we were looking for how many cups are needed for 100 servings, one serving is 2 cups. That means 100 servings would be 200 cups. So how many cups? 200 cups. All right, and then how many ounces of kernels are needed to make 100 servings? All right, so I'm going to go back to this part of the chart here. And so I know that 100 servings is 200 cups. So 20 cups was 5 ounces. So times 10, that's going to be 50 ounces of kernels. All right, let's move on to the unit rate section here. What unit rate can help us find the number of cups you can make from 16 ounces of kernels? So we're going to use one ounce of kernels for every 4 cups. That would be the unit rate to use. So if I know that I'm using 16, so I'm going to times 4 times 16, and I know that I would get 64 cups of popcorn. All right, so for the next question, what unit rate will help you figure out directly how many ounces of kernels you need to make 100 cups of popcorn? We can use the same rate, right? 1 ounce equals 4 cups. 100 cups would be times 25. So 1 times 25, it would be 25 ounces of kernels. All right, and it says Maria writes the expression 4C to find the number of ounces of kernels she needs to make C cups of popcorn. Is her expression correct? Well, we know it's 1 ounce for 4 cups. 4C would be incorrect. Her expression implies that the number of kernels needed in ounces would be larger than the amount of popcorn made. If she said 1/4 C, then that would work. But 4C would not work in this scenario, as we noted by the 1/4 ratio, or the unit rate. All right, let's move on to situation A. Will thinks there is another unit rate and writes the unit rate for 1 cup of popcorn is 1 cup per 1/4 ounce of kernels, or 1 to 1/4. Is he correct? Yes, he is correct. And how might this information be helpful or useful? The information would be useful if you know how many ounces of kernels you will need to make a target number of cups of popcorn. Okay, I went ahead and filled in the chart. If 1/4 is 1, we're just going to keep that rate going. So half, 3/4, 1, 5/4, 6/4, 7/4, 2, 9/4, 10/4, 11/4, and then for any number, it would be 1/4 times n. Okay, to save time, I went ahead and filled in the chart, so we know that the ratio is 1 to 4. So these are multiples of 4, and then it would be 4 times the number of kernels, or ounces of kernels, I should say. And then for servings, we know that the ratio is 1 ounce of kernels is 2, so we're going to just double everything, and then they would be 2. The number of servings is 2 times the number of ounces. All right, so for our equation, it would be S servings equals 2K, as shown on the chart. And then for 3, which method did you find more useful? That's up to you. So we're going to move on to the next section. All right, so Matt wrote the following equation to represent the cost C in dollars of buying N packages of unpopped corn. And there is the equation. C equals 3.5 N. So what is the unit cost for each bag? That would be $3.50. What is the cost of 12 bags? We're going to times that by 12. And we get, I'm actually going to double 350 to 7 and then half 12 to 6. So 7 times 6 is 42. All right. How many bags can he buy if he has $35? All right. I'm going to look at that 350 a bag and look at that ratio. If I times that by 10, I'd get 35, so it's 10 bags. How many bags can he buy if he has $15? Well, again, if 350 is 1 bag, then 4 bags would equal $14. And so you're not going to be able to buy a partial bag. So how many bags can he buy? He can buy 4. Okay, I hope this video was helpful, and I will see you in the next investigation.